bright and early. Not as bright and early as we should have been, because Kate was supposed to come wake me up. Because my alarm didn't go off, because my phone died overnight, because my charger wasn't charging. Anyway, day in the life of being the world's strongest man. It has been a hectic week and a half. I very much believe that while the opportunity exists, you have to seize it. And that means lots of podcasts and interviews and stuff on top of a lot of business opportunity and a lot of sponsors, sponsor meetings, sponsor. It's been absolutely unbelievable. Lucky in so many ways at the moment. But you dropped the ball on a couple of things, as per usual. All right, we made it. We are 16 minutes late, which is, as you can attest, that's about my norm.
That's
my standard. But we left about 35 minutes too late, so we made up a bit of time. But yeah, morning show. See how it goes.
All right, Jeff, see if the Leafs can flex their muscles. In the meantime, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Look who we have with us, the strongest man in the world, Mitchell Hooper. A Barrie weightlifter has done what no other Canadian has since 1977, and that is to win the World Strongman competition. We'll look at his amazing journey, the winner himself, when we come back. Let's do it, Mitchell. Show us your guns. I mean, oh my gosh, wow. He's competing for the title. Mitchell, congrats on your enormous win, and welcome to CP24 Breakfast this morning.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So this is pretty incredible that, you know, you've kind of broken this this record of being the world's strongest, Canadian world's strongest man. Talk about the training that went into this, because I know it takes a lot of dedication.
Yeah, I think what people don't understand is when you train for bodybuilding, your muscles get very sore. Mm-hmm. But when you train for strength sports, your nervous system gets very tired. And so training is obviously a few hours a day, but the outcome is that I'm never really sore, but I'm often hungry and grouchy and sleepy during the day. And those are the things that you have to fight to have that period of consistency to be able to make good progress.
Right, it's quite a science.
What are we doing, Mitchell?
Hold yourself nice and tight.
Okay.
Hold you to your chest.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, you ready?
Oh my god!
Oh.
Oh my god! I'm getting a workout. Wow! Oh my god! That was amazing! Oh my gosh! Wow! Thank you so much. Congratulations on you. The world's strongest man, Mitchell Hooper.
Hello.
That was all right. I was just trying to get this CTV shot in the background, but how was that?
That was good. Yeah, it's always challenging doing a new thing. But I'm not quiet about saying that stuff is quite hard for me to do. But as per usual, you do something difficult for you, I'll be able to go watch it back, and I'll be able to be better for next time. So hopefully it came across well. But in the end, personal growth and exposure, and if you can get that, then for me, that's winning.
How much did you love having to pick up the ladies?
No, that's good. I prefer doing that over answering questions about food.
Yeah. Now we're off to find
It's always cool though when they know everything about you before going in. She's like, I hear your accent from Australia when you were doing your masters over there. Wow. Okay, right.
Wonderful. And now we're going to find another reporter.
Another reporter, yeah. One who I've done. There's an article about me in Toronto Live, an actual big one. I haven't read it yet. That she did. She also did the work for Globe and Mail. She's a freelance reporter, so I'm not sure what this one's for, but bless you. But she's a strongman fan and competitor and reporter, so pretty cool. Yeah, we'll see. This is Kate. Kate works for me.
Alyssa, nice to meet you.
This is Fabian, self-explanatory.
Nice to meet you. So I had a first question, but I'm actually going to leave you something I heard you just say on CP24, because you were talking about wanting to bring an air of normalcy to strongman, that it kind of had the circus roots, and people are always asking about, what do you eat? What's the weird stuff that you eat? Can you talk to me a little bit more about what that means to you to add an air of normalcy to the sport?
Well, it just allows a lot more. It drops the barrier for someone to get involved. Historically, if you're not 6'6" or 6'8", you probably assume that you couldn't be the world's strongest man, or if you weren't willing to sacrifice your entire life. Where for me, I'm not willing to sacrifice my entire life. I'm not willing to die. I'm not willing to eat all day, and it really hasn't impacted me in the least. So we finished up interview with reporter Alyssa Ages. And she actually just came out with a book, which is called Secrets of Giants, one of the very few books on strongman that I know of. It is available for pre-order literally the same day, coincidentally, that this story comes out. If you want to read some stuff that she's done already, the interview that was published in Toronto Life, the interview that was published in the Globe and Mail, she's done a lot of work, doing a lot of legwork for the world of strength sports and for strongman. So we'll pop the link to the book in the description, available for pre-order. And basically, you took a year interviewing all the best strongmen?
Yep, and going to all the big strongman competitions and also doing it myself, going back into competing.
Cool.
Yeah.
So one of the things for me is if we can do anything to grow the sport, we should support that. Alyssa's doing a heap of legwork. So if you can go check out that, link is in the description. Go pre-order the book and support the people who are supporting us.
Thank you.
So we got on the road with a little bit of a late break today. Ergo, I didn't even have breakfast. And the reason that doesn't matter too much is because there's fast food on the way. So we got a wrap from Starbucks. But you guys know that macros don't really exist at restaurants in the way that they should. One of the things I always keep in my car is a tub of protein. So I figured I'd give a quick shout out. This is one of my tricks to be able to hit my macros while I'm still off and doing my thing. This is the Canadian Maple, the one that I did the advert for. We'll put the link in the bio for Perfect Sports. For those who haven't tried it, this stuff sort of sells itself. Diesel, it's the New Zealand way protein. They were the first ones to do the New Zealand way. Anyway, I don't need to sell it that much, but I just thought you guys, you're always interested in food and what I'm consuming, so I figure might as well give you a bit of a tidbit. So the wrap from Starbucks is about 35 grams of protein. I can get it up to 70 by having a shake alongside. So that is traditionally how I use it. Go check them out, Perfect Sports. Save some money, use the code. You know the drill.
Okay, what time is it? It's like what, like 10:30, and this is the first time that you're eating today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not ideal, but also I have stuff to do. So, yeah, is what it is. Hi, Fabian.
Workout time.
We're going to exercise now, and I am exhausted, but good way to wake up is to exercise. Good enough every day, right? Simple as that.
So, what do we got on the menu today?
We got axle deads, we got front squats, hamstrings, adductor, abductors, and then I've been hammering away at grip quite a bit. So I'll probably do some grip stuff as well, but volume-wise, not the biggest day, but big movement, so it'll still be fairly exhausting. We only have an hour, so we're gonna see how much we can get through. Try to keep it moving fairly quickly, get some fitness work going as well.
What would you say are some of the biggest changes that you make between the axle deadlift and like a deadlift bar?
Well, patience off the ground is massive, and you can't compromise your position off the floor to expect it to move well. It's always going to feel shitty off the floor. Now, generally speaking, to make you stronger off the ground for more of a dead stop lift, if you bring feet forward, feet together, toes forward, and drive your knees forward, can really help. Also, the more you can coil your body, so hips down, chest down, the better explosion you're gonna get at the bottom, but all of that sacrifices your strength at the top.
How those go?
Really good, this gym's out of chalk,
Yeah.
so it's sliding. I should have something in here.
The chalk fairy has come.
People won't like what I'm doing, but the big block of chalk is very cumbersome.
Much bigger difference with the chalk?
Yeah,
I hope a lot.
much easier.
You said that's it for deadlifts? Just 2 top sets?
Yeah.
You don't wear squat shoes. Do you squat?
No, I prefer to, but I think they're at home. I've got my cool lifters that I wear for comps, but I don't wear them from anything else, so. Oh, that's weird. Oh.
Getting that front rack in there.
If you need some more mobility on your squats, stretching lats, supinated hand, up overhead, really good. Coming into external rotation as much as you can under the bar.
Ideally, front squats, you would want to get in that front rack position. Like there's like a bunch of different ways that people do front squats.
For me, yes. Because I think when you cross over, when you're here, I think you can sort of dig it into your delts. And since you've got that shelf, you can cheat them a little bit. Or if you're here, much, much harder.
How long do you hold the stretch for to like see noticeable improvement?
20, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
then
just before the exercise?
Yeah. And just understand that you don't want to stretch it if you're actually using it, but if you're just freeing up some range like this to hold something, that's fine. And also recognize that this type of stretch is not going to last very long at all. It'll get you through it for your set, but it's not going to actually increase range in and of itself. Stretching traditionally lasts for about 30 minutes, the impact. So unless you're going to stretch for 30 minutes all day, you're not going to see lasting change. You need stretching under load, which is why right now in say my overhead pulling movements, I'm working particularly hard on getting that full range. Doesn't feel safe. It feels like I'm gonna dump it. I just don't have the coordination.
So what's the plan?
We'll go back down. 3 plates felt all right, so we'll go there. The last option, that if I can't get them feeling right for next week, would be to go to a safety bar squat and use that backwards with the pad up in your neck. But like I said, if you can't do something, always better to find out why and do it. I think this is just coordination at this stage. Like working so hard to stay upright, it's just not something I have to do a lot of. It's funny, it's not hard at all on my legs. Like they're sort of a formality. It's just holding torso vertical, which is sort of my error on deadlifts as well, that I tend to cave. So good assistance exercise, but also this is not a good front squat. Very, very light. And I think it's a good example of that it doesn't matter how strong you are. If you're not accustomed to the movement you're trying to do, you're going to be bad at it at first. But guaranteed if I did this for 3-4 weeks in a row, which I will, I'll probably get up to 5 plates or so without much concern. So when it's a new movement, play it slow, take your time.
As you're relearning this movement, like what are like the 2 biggest cues that are running through your head right now?
Just one, really. Just keep my torso upright. And it's mostly navigating how the lower body needs to feel to be able to do that. I know that the wider I drive my knees, the more upright I can stay, and the more I push them forward, the more upright I can stay. So those 2 thoughts, knees wide, knees forward. Just playing around. It requires a lot less thought though than you would think to be able to perfect a movement. There's great research around running and taking groups of people. One, you control their gait. You instruct them how to run most efficiently. And other ones, you just let them go run. And the people who go and run by themselves have increased step variability. And that step variability allows you to find out how your body moves best. I see it much the same with training. If you're over cued, you're narrowing yourself into this one particular way to move, where your body might need to go through a bit of a process to find out how it moves most efficiently. And you don't actually want to lock yourself into anything too early. You just want to have slight variance around what's reasonably acceptable when it comes to injury risk. So just the volume with these. I mean, even what, that was set 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, even set 2 feels miles better than set 1. And set 5 should feel like mostly nothing.
Well, those are all said and done. What else we got?
Hamstring, leg, abduction, leg adduction. I gotta check volume, but we're probably gonna go circuit style a few times around and then get up and out of here.
So what kind of science can you spin about hip abductions?
Well, when you're doing stuff like squatting, deadlifting, the incorrect cue is to create a torque about your knee to the outside. The rotating your knees outward is a great cue for a lot of people because it's easy to comprehend, but it's very easy to overshoot. And in the knee, since this joint really only allows the kneecap to move here, and that's the knee is the most inflexible joint in the body in the sense that it only has that one plane. As soon as you start twisting in any way, meniscus and soft tissues get really unhappy. So once you've nailed the cue to get your knees out over your feet rather than collapsing inwards, the next best thing you could do is abduct, which is spread the floor apart, which can look like the same thing in a way, particularly when you're standing tall. But when you squat, you'll notice that the abduction creates stability at the hip, the rotation creates a torque at the hip and at the knee. So training this guy is going to help stability with deadlifts, with squats, but it also helps, it's the same muscles that stop the hips from rocking left to right. So say like that hip sway that you see on yoke, something like this would be particularly helpful to stop that as well. All external rotators of the hip and lateral stabilizers of the hip. Then, in terms of adduction, it's as much injury prevention as anything. And in terms of prime movers, you got adductor magnus, but that's only going to be really working hard if your leg is extended, you're adducting, and your foot is slightly behind your other foot. Your moving foot goes slightly behind your other foot, but all of the internal muscles of the groin that are shorter, pelvis to halfway down the femur, those guys are really easy to tear when you're down in a strong abducted position. So just good time of the year to create resiliency about the entire body. Yeah, does that suffice?
It is suffice. Well, YouTube will let you know if it's suffice.
YouTube seems to really like it.
Yeah, they're loving all the seminar breakdowns, everything.
Oh,
How was that?
pain.
That was just to finish off the workout?
Yeah, that's pain. One important thing, muscle fiber type is inversely correlated with how large it is. So the smaller the muscle, the more slow twitch it is. The larger the muscle, the more fast twitch and explosive it is. And when you train a muscle, you need to sort of meet it halfway. So if we're talking grip, you're not going to make a huge amount of progress by going incredibly heavy for short duration, because the response from the slow twitch muscles won't be there. So doing higher volume, extremely high frequency for anything like your tibialis posterior, your forearms, your calves, anything like that, very important, because the function of the smaller muscles is to control your hand all day. So it's like you're in an argument with the muscle to adapt, and you got to meet it sort of halfway to be able to push forward. So working this into my training fairly regularly. Haven't shared that with Laws yet, but I'm sure he doesn't care.
What have we got going on for the rest of the afternoon?
Going back to meet with a potential sponsor in 15 minutes, driving home. And then we're going to shoot some content for group coaching program, which is going to be live. We'll pop that link in the description. We're going to shoot content for the t-shirts. That sale ends Saturday midnight Eastern Standard Time, so that we can order those shirts and get them out to everyone. Shoot content for, not so much shoot content, but launch Laws and my, we're doing a seminar in London. That page is all ready to go. We just need to create something to put out there with him. Then I've got a bunch of calls with the coaching mentorship group tonight, make sure that they're all on the right track, making sure that they have the best service offering for where they're at and their expertise, their skills, their value add, all of that. So packed out afternoon. And then hopefully I'll go out for some dinner tonight to decompress from the week, some flying monkeys or something.
Come on.